I am so thrilled you're here with us today because honestly, we're diving into a topic that is just absolutely fascinating to me. Have you ever looked at financially successful families and kind of wondered, exactly how they managed to set their kids up so incredibly well for life? Well, today we're exploring the real, highly structured methods that detail how the wealthy use government rules to build millionaire kids. And yep, just like the title promises, we're looking at how they pull this off entirely 100% legally. When we talk about creating generational wealth, what's the first thing that instantly pops into your head? Like, do you immediately think of secret loopholes, or do you think of legitimate legal planning? It's a pretty provocative question, isn't it? I mean, we're so heavily conditioned by movies and flashy headlines to just assume that massive wealth is always built on, breaking the rules or shady backroom deals. But today, we're going to completely challenge that assumption and look at how long-term wealth is actually created. Okay, let's dive into this. Number 1, the biggest wealth myth. 2, overlooked government tax incentives. 3, power of starting early. 4, generational business wealth strategies. 5, common financial planning mistakes. And 6, action plan for parents. Section 1, the biggest wealth myth. Loopholes versus reality. So notice the stark contrast here. On one side, we've got this media-fueled myth of secret loopholes. This idea that the ultra-wealthy are just hiding money in the shadows. But the reality? Well, it's actually much more mundane. It's legitimate financial planning. Financially successful families aren't using secret tricks. They're utilizing completely transparent, government-approved rules. It's not about cheating the system at all. It's literally just about reading the rulebook and planning accordingly. Section 2, overlooked government tax incentives, using the rules. So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding exactly what this jargon actually means. Tax-efficient investment strategies are simply government-approved methods to structure investments in a way that minimizes tax burdens and supports long-term wealth. And here's the thing, many governments actually want you to save and invest for the future. They purposefully design these legal tax rules, investment incentives, and estate planning opportunities specifically to encourage long-term financial stability. These aren't hidden secrets. They're highly accessible tools that just, often go completely overlooked by the average person. Section 3, power of starting early, the math of wealth. And this brilliantly illustrates how the math heavily favors those who act early. Just look at the exponential compound growth when you start early, compared to the significantly lower growth when starting late. Time basically allows money to multiply itself over and over again, which completely changes the financial trajectory of a child's life. It's not just about how much cash you put in, but how long you let it sit there and do the heavy lifting for you. If you take away just one single concept from today's explainer, please make it this. Compounding creates long-term wealth. It is the silent, relentless engine doing all the hard work over a child's lifetime, while they're, just busy being a kid. When you pair those tax-efficient strategies we talked about with decades of compound growth, you're essentially building an unstoppable financial snowball. Section 4, generational business wealth strategies, beyond basic savings. When it comes to business, wealth transfers deliberately over decades. It's like a giant puzzle coming together. In years 1 through 10, the pure focus is on building the business and creating stability. Then, moving into years 10 to 20, successful families integrate estate planning to legally protect those assets. Finally, in years 20 to 30, we see the formal legal succession to the next generation. It's a deliberate, carefully planned transfer that happens methodically over 30 years, ultimately securing the family's financial footprint for sure. Section 5, common financial planning mistakes, what to avoid. Now, you absolutely must be cautious of these common mistakes, because even incredibly well-meaning parents stumble here. Number 1, waiting too long to start. Remember that compounding math we just looked at? Number 2, overlooking government tax incentives, which is essentially just leaving free money on the table. Number 3, ignoring estate planning basics, leaving the wealth you've worked so hard to build completely unprotected. And finally, and actually this is perhaps the biggest mistake of all, focusing purely on handing over cash, instead of teaching solid financial habits. Section 6, action plan for parents, building independence. All right, so here are your concrete steps. Step 1, start investing early. Get time on your child's side immediately. Step 2, utilize tax-efficient strategies. Learn the rules and use the incentives your government provides. And step 3, teach financial habits. The sources are crystal clear on this. Teaching a child how to manage money matters infinitely more in the long run than simply handing them a high income.
Empowering them with actual knowledge ensures the wealth actually lasts.
Now, before you go rushing off to implement this blueprint, I do need to weave in this extremely important reminder. Everything we've covered in this explainer is for educational purposes only. This is not legal, tax, or investment advice. Tax laws and financial regulations vary wildly by country and jurisdiction, and everyone's circumstances are totally different. Always consult a qualified professional before making any financial decisions. I want to leave you with this final empowering thought to chew on. Looking at everything we've uncovered today, from compound interest to government rules and estate planning, what financial habits will you start building for your family today? Generational wealth isn't about secrecy, it's about structure, time, and action. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.